Hey guys, I am so excited to be trying on a bunch of this new makeup that I purchased. The new Cle de Peau Translucent Loose Powder. I have it in the shade Light Medium number 2. I cannot wait to give that a shot. I have a whole story behind that, which we'll get into. I did also purchase all of the new Charlotte Tilbury blush sticks because I was just really curious about them. So I've got all, I think there's six shades. Let me see. 2, 4, 6, yep, all 6 shades. I did, just out of curiosity, get the Pat McGrath Glass 001 Skin Fetish Glass 001 Legendary Glow Setting Spray. Now, when she first came out with a glass skin product, I think it was a mask, could be left on, like it was this hybrid product, and I thought it was a little bit too, I don't know, not confusing, but I didn't know like if the everyday person was ever going to use it. And I remember talking about it and thinking she should really just come out with like a setting spray. And then I saw this on Sephora and I was like, yes, I need to try that. So we're going to be trying that today. I also did purchase one of the new Prada Light Glowing Lip Color, and I got it in shade U016 Rose. So we'll try that out. And then if you guys caught my Dior video, from last week, I talked about my whole collection. I talked about what was still available, how they've been doing a lot of reformulation. So I went to the forum shops at Caesars. They used to have a Dior beauty boutique there. I think it closed a while ago. I thought there was a possibility that it was still there. Maybe it moved. I did a quick search online and it showed, Dior Beauty. I kind of saw some listings for it and I was like, oh, okay, it is still there. It's not there. It's not there anymore. Do not go to the forum shops for the Dior Beauty Boutique because Bottega Veneta has taken its place. And I do, like, once I saw it, I was like, okay, I remember it not being there anymore. So I went to Nordstrom and I hit the Dior counter because I did want to get a couple of things that I saw during that video that I thought would be interesting. So I did get the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. We'll be trying that out today. Not new, just new to me. And then I also got the Dior Lip Glow in Citrus. So we'll be trying that also. And then I did also get the Dior Addict, the Shine Lipstick in Dior Vibe. So this is kind of like a light peachy color. And then, of course, I had to stop by the Chanel counter and I got the Ombre Essentiel in Beige Sable. So this is a shade that's a little bit lighter than the Bruntapa that I've been wearing quite a bit. So I thought maybe this would be nice for spring, summer. And then finally, I got my hands on the Hydrating and Fortifying Oil. This is the Camellia Oil. I believe it's for your cuticles, essentially, but it's just camellia oil, so you can pretty much use it anywhere. But I went to Violet Grey in LA. They had it. I asked for it. They didn't have any in stock. And I was somewhere else too, and they didn't have any in stock. And apparently I got the last one at Nordstrom, the woman was telling me, and she's like, it's a good thing you got it. She's like, because we have it on constant reorder and we just never know when it's going to come in. Very, very happy to get my hands on this finally. So we'll just take a look at that. I need to start off actually with a little bit of primer. I feel like my skin is really dry, really parched, so I'm going to use the Cle de Peau Intensive Fortifying Emulsion. This has been one of my favorite primers, and it does such a good job smoothing out your skin and like prepping it for makeup, which is really, really nice. Oh my gosh, I forgot to put my earrings on today. I don't have any down here. Oh, I feel a little naked. But you guys know I usually have my Lucifer earrings on, and I forgot. So for the Forever Skin Glow Foundation from Dior, I got it in shade 1.5, which is the shade that I normally get. And I actually mentioned this during my Dior video. I don't think I ever tried this foundation before, but I tried a different one that Dior had reformulated, and I remember it oxidizing on my skin. And I thought, well, I don't know if this is gonna oxidize. Should I get a lighter one? Anyway, I went ahead and purchased what I would say is like my normal shade for Dior, which is 1.5, sometimes 2. I went ahead and got this, and then I saw one of your comments that this did oxidize, at least for you it did. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, 1.5N here. I'm gonna go ahead and shake it up, and there is 1.5. Again, this is not a new product, it's just new to me. So don't want to confuse anyone. I didn't run out and get it because they reformulated it recently, at least. They haven't reformulated it. This is just a foundation I never got around to trying, and after reading the description, it sounded perfect for me. So I'm going to use my BK Beauty 101 brush. The glow is very subtle. Definitely very, very subtle, but I see a little bit of like a pretty kind of finish to it. But no, I wouldn't say I feel like especially glowy, which is good because you can always add something in like the star filter from Dior or something like that if you do want a little extra glow. But so far this is very nice. I'm trying to see if it's like oxidizing. I don't think I'm noticing any oxidization. So far, so good. I would say the coverage is light medium. I put on just that, what you saw in the back of my hand, so not much. And if you're new to my channel, just for reference, I do have very, very dry skin, so I do prefer foundations with a little bit of something. I tend to steer clear of those matte or velvet finish foundations that tend to have, you know, like a 24-hour wear. I tend to stay away from those foundations. I like ones with words like glow, hydrating, hydra. So far, this one is very nice. I see a little bit of a sheen there, which is really lovely. And if I want a little bit more coverage, this is a good one. A lot of the foundations, I look, again, because of my skin type, a lot of the foundations I like have a lighter coverage. This one has like a light medium coverage, which is nice when I, you know, want to look a little bit more polished, if you will. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of the Sarah Creole Face Flex. It's her concealer and complexion enhancer. I do have it in shade number 1. I just want to add a little bit right here. I look a little shadowy right there. See if we can pull that forward a little bit. I've just got my BK Beauty A506 concealer brush here. All right, now, I'm so excited. So Cle de Peau, their loose powder, at least in my personal history with makeup, is the loose powder that kind of started it all. I was not a fan of loose powder. Again, I have dry skin and I've always had dry skin. I've never been the biggest fan of powdering, and I just never really knew how to use it, and apparently also never really found the right powder for me. So I can't remember who I was watching or who I was talking to, because this is probably like 6 or 7 years ago at this point. But someone said try the Cle de Peau powder, or I watched someone use it or something. And I ran out and I got it. I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. It was like the perfect storm. It was an incredible powder. They've reformulated it, which is why I picked this one up. It was an incredible powder. I had like the right brush finally. I had the right tools. It was the summertime. I think I was feeling a little bit oily. Anyway, it was like all the right conditions came together, and I really fell in love with loose powders on that day. So Cle de Peau was like my first loose powder love, and ever since then I feel like I love the effect of loose powder on my skin. I do love the practicality of a pressed powder. It's just easier, smaller, more travel friendly. But loose powder, there's just something about it that I think really, I don't know, it just like leaves this like veil of like a powder kind of like blurring effect to your skin. So I'm a big fan. Oh, apparently I got the refill. So these are refillable. I purchased this, by the way, off of Cult Beauty because I don't think this has been released in the US yet, and Cult Beauty is a UK-based retailer. Okay, well, I have a refill. Awesome. And again, I did get it in shade number 2, light medium. And on the site, it said it was medium, so that is different. Here's what the refill looks like. So I guess I don't have the powder puff, which is fine. I usually use a brush. Oh, okay. I was like, is this loose powder? Because it looks like pressed powder, but this is actually a net on top. Okay, oh yeah, you can start to see the net. I guess the powder has just sort of settled into the net. I'm happy I got the light medium. I think the light, at least on the website, looked a little bit like just straight up white. Maybe it had like a pink tint to it. Those work for me as well, but they're a little bit more brightening, and sometimes I feel like they can look a little bit chalky on my skin. So that's why I opted for the light medium, and I think I think this will work for me. So for loose powder, I of course love to use a giant fluffy powder brush. So I just grabbed my Refer number 25 brush. You can see it is pretty generous in size. And what I like to do is kind of load up the brush evenly. So I make sure I get some of the powder everywhere. Tap off any excess. I am so excited that Cle de Peau is using this net. I really like when there's a net because it's like self-sifted basically. Tap off any excess, and then what I like to do is I like to pounce the powder on. I'm gonna do that all over. And then I like powder brushes that are round in the ferrule because then I can do a nice kind of buffing action. If the ferrule is too flat, you end up, you know, doing more of a sweeping action, but with round ones, you can do a nice buffing. And this has just the slightest of that Cle de Peau rose fragrance to it. It's nice, it's subtle. I would say it's more subtle than their original powder. Okay, let's take a close look. Okay, I'm just gonna close this up before I make a mess. And I'm not exactly sure why they reformulated the powder. I don't know, you know, Cle de Peau has slowly been redoing their whole line. And a lot of brands they've been reformulating because they want to remove the talc from their powders. But the first ingredient in here is talc, so this is not a talc-free powder, just FYI. I'm just gonna read what it says off the box here. It says, the ultimate set and perfect luxurious face powder inspired by the radiance of a diamond provides an unparalleled luminous finish. Once applied, ensures extended makeup wear and flawless skin tone harmony. Contains light empowering treatment powder, which improves radiance and maintains skin's condition. A hybrid of makeup and skincare exclusive light empowering enhancer amplifies your radiant finish. So maybe they infused this powder with some skincare ingredients. That's always welcome. I do feel like I see a nice pretty sheen right here from the powder. Yeah, I don't look too matte, but yeah, my makeup feels set down. Very nice, very nice. In fact, I feel like this pretty sheen I see, it's a little bit more than their previous powder. Like it's doing a little bit more to kind of bring out a natural kind of skin finish there. Very pretty. I was even thinking when I purchased this, I'm like, I'm gonna be surprised if I like this more than the original powder, but I think I may. Yeah, because I don't remember it giving me this really, like very, very subtle kind of finish here. Oh, it's quite nice. Quite nice. Okay. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that they finally came out with this. I can't believe I bought the refill and not the full one. Well, when it gets released here in the US, I'm definitely gonna have to get like the full one and not just the refill, but that works just fine. I don't have any bronzers, so I think I'm just gonna forego bronzer today. And what we're gonna do is try on 2 of these Charlotte Tilbury blushes. Now I am going to make a short, so keep an eye out for that, a short trying on all 6 of these just so you can get a sense of them. And I will throw some footage up here right now of swatches of all 6 of them. But I think what I'm gonna do is put on, because these are the 2 that I believe will work best for my skin tone, which is Rosy Glow and Peach Glow. But there is Pretty Glow, Cherry Glow, Pinky Glow, and Berry Glow. Okay, so here is the packaging. Very Charlotte Tilbury, very nice. I do like that they're color coded, if you will. And let's try on Peachy Glow. Here is what Peachy Glow looks like in the tube. And because I have powder down already, I don't think I feel comfortable just swiping a cream product over it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm taking my BK Beauty 109 brush. I'm just gonna pick some up on the brush, and then I'm gonna pounce it down. So these most definitely have a nice emollient texture to them. They're not thick, like too thick. They're not gonna necessarily like drag other makeup around, but I like using this kind of pouncing motion when I'm applying cream over powder, just in case, you know, I don't really wanna move stuff around underneath. That blended out really, really nicely. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more and just focus it up here. And I believe all of these shades from Charlotte Tilbury have a little bit of a glow to them. you will have seen that in the swatches. A little bit of a glow. None of them are just like a straight up cream color. There's a little bit of a sheen to them. Now, I wouldn't say there's any micro glitters or anything like that. Just a really pretty, slightly metallic sheen. I think you can see that. There is Peachy Glow, and here is Rosy Glow. I just cleaned off my 109 brush. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna pick up some. These have a really nice level of pigmentation. They're almost like the Goldilocks of pigmentation. Not too light, not too deep, and they blend out quite nicely. So in comparing these to the Dior blush sticks, I would say that these are, while they are, you know, emollient and they blend out really beautifully, as you guys just saw, they're not quite as emollient as the Dior blush sticks. I also think that these set down just a little bit more than the Dior blush sticks. I'm gonna have to play around with that to confirm, but these don't feel quite as emollient on the skin. I guess that would make sense, being that they start out a little bit less emollient. I do also really like that the Charlotte Tilbury ones have a little bit of glow to them. That's just my thing. I like cheek products with like a little bit of a sheen to them because, again, I have really dry skin. But because these have a cream formula to them, a cream texture to them, it's not like any of them look terribly flat or dry. So I don't think that's like a make or break situation, but these definitely have a sheen to them, which I prefer. They're both really, really lovely. I'm definitely gonna have to like play around with these a little bit more. I will definitely get back to you. I think what I may do is like a blush stick showdown and just rank all of my favorite blush sticks. Maybe like my top 5, because now I'm thinking the Westman Atelier, which you guys know I absolutely love. And then, well, I was just about to say the Cle de Peau cream blushes I love, but those are discontinued and they will be reformulating those. Hopefully they'll be reformulating those. I don't know, but those have been discontinued. But yeah, there's a bunch of cream blush. The Kier Weiss has been like one of my longtime favorites. So there's a bunch of like cream blushes, blush sticks that I really, really love that I feel like I need to do like a ranking video. So I may do that, but I think I just need a little bit more time with these to figure out any kind of like pros and cons, at least versus the Dior blush sticks. But so far, so good. I think these are really, really beautiful. And I'm still keeping an eye out on this foundation. I don't think it's oxidizing for me. I don't think so, which I'm thankful for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna continue kind of paying attention to that. Anyway, let me put on some brows. I've got my Dior Onset Brow Gel. Let's just throw this on. And then I'm excited to try the Chanel Ombre Essentiel in Beige Sable. So this is number 234. It's a nice pale shimmery shade right there. I feel like this would be a really lovely highlight too. Should I try it as highlight? Let's see. Oh yeah, it's quite nice. Obviously don't need that much since eyeshadows are usually more pigmented than like a face product. But that's pretty though. Nice and subtle. I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 203 brush. It's like a flat shader. And I'm just gonna do, or attempt to do, a one and done look with this. Don't know if it's enough. I mean, it's a really pretty, simple look, which I think is always nice for summertime. Let's see if I can build that up a little bit. That's nice. Simple, everyday kind of look. I just look a little bit more finished, a little bit more polished with that. Okay, I'm happy with that. And I love the formula of these Ombre Essentiel single shadows from Chanel. They last all day. They don't crease. They don't, there's no fallout, nothing. They're just such a good, like, rock solid eyeshadow formula. Okay, let me just curl my lashes. I'm gonna use my Chanel Inimitable mascara. Oh, let me use my Valentino Colorgraph Brown Fondant Eyeliner. I love this eyeliner, but I've been going so hard with the Prada eyeliners, I kind of forgot about this one. So I'm gonna use this guy. It's a nice, like, metallic brown shade. Just gonna tight line a little. And then let's try all these lip products that I got. So I got that Prada Light Glowing Lip Color in Rose. Let's try this one first. Ooh, pretty package. It has a little pink tint to the center bar here. Here's what the bullet looks like. Let's do a swatch. Ooh, pretty. So this right here, pretty, sorry, those are the blushes. Ooh, very subtle. And a little, and very soft. It's like crumbling off. Yeah, it's very, very soft. I don't know, can you see that around the edge of the bullet? It's kind of crumbling. I wasn't pushing that hard. I'll just tap softly. But the good thing about it, it is very, very soft. It feels really nice on the lips. Wow, like not too thick where it's sitting on top, but not too thin where it's like just immediately absorbed by your lips. Really nice. Okay, so that is the shade Rose. Very pretty, very subtle. But I did pick up these other Dior Addict products. So I got the Dior Addict Lip Glow in Citrus. I alluded to purchasing this in my Dior video because I had that Lemon Glow lip oil that I left behind when I traveled. I'll eventually get that back. But I saw this and I thought, oh, I like that Lemon Glow so much. Maybe I'll just pick this one up since I don't have this, never had this, and I can give this a shot. This has just the most subtle little metallic sheen there. Can you guys even see it? It's so subtle. Let me put it on my lips and maybe it'll be a little bit more clear. Yeah, this formula, I mean, just to compare it to the Prada, since I just tried that on, this is denser and a little bit thicker than the Prada. This doesn't really have a scent. Did this have a scent? This doesn't really have a scent either. I'm surprised. Maybe a little. I mean, it just kind of smells like makeup. But here is Citrus. Just the slightest finish, but really, really subtle. This is all but clear, which is fine. A really nice lip balm. And then I did get the Shine lipstick in Dior Vibe. So I do love this formula. It's probably my favorite Dior lipstick formula. And this Dior Vibe, it's lighter and peachier than Beige Oblique, which is the one that I have two of, mysteriously. But I thought this would be really nice for the summertime. Something just a little bit warmer in tone. Like tap dancing on that concealer lip look, but not quite. Not quite. Okay, so those are all the new lip products I got. Let me just show you this oil from Chanel that I was kind of rambling about. It's this guy. And it is meant for your cuticles. It has this little tip, and it looks spongy, but it's not. This is like a hard plastic tip. So it's just perfect for your cuticles if they're in need for a little bit of extra love. So I just squeezed out a whole bunch of it so you can maybe get a sense of the texture. Hold on. But it's like a thick oil. I wouldn't say it's like gel. It's not quite that dense. There's that oil. Let me just spread this out onto all my cuticles here. But it's just a great thing to kind of carry in your purse. And, you know, living here in Vegas, my hands, while I try and keep them moisturized, you know, I'm constantly washing them when I'm out or whatever, and I'm always thinking, God, my cuticles look ragged. And so I wanted something like this to carry around. So anyway, instantly they look and feel so much better. And they just have that really light camellia scent. Very pretty. So anyway, that's the camellia oil from Chanel. And last but not least, we've got the Pat McGrath glass skin spray. So let me see if it says anything on the box here. La la la. It's a setting spray. Shake well before use. One mist for all-day perfection. For glass-like shine, layer as desired, pausing 30 seconds between each. Simply hold at arm's length and spray. Now, you guys know I've been loving the Patrick Star sprays. This one is so good. It just leaves your skin looking so soft and beautiful. And this SPF spray is so good. It's not like any other SPF spray that I've used. It doesn't leave like this kind of gross sticky film on your skin. It's really quite nice. So anyway, Pat McGrath has some steep competition here. Okay, gonna shake it up. Wow, that's very wet. It has a very strong kind of like alcohol smell. Do I have glass skin yet? Not yet. Let's do another layer. It's been 30 seconds. I feel like this is a disaster waiting to happen. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm definitely getting shinier. Okay. It's a very, I know this sounds stupid because I'm talking about a spray, but it's very wet. There's like a lot of product that comes out, even when I'm just holding, you know, the spray bottle just ever so slightly. There's just, it feels very, very wet. Yeah, I'm definitely getting shinier. You can see it right here. Let me just, I'm gonna spray just a little bit more. You guys are like, please stop. Please, do we need to? Yes, I wanna try it on my forehead. I wanna see how glassy I can get my forehead looking. Well, right now it's just wet. Let's see how it dries down. Yeah, my forehead is definitely getting shinier. Well, this is definitely an interesting alternative if you're looking for glass skin, because I see it kind of happening, especially around my, like the center of my face here and my forehead. You know, I don't necessarily mind it. I don't necessarily mind it. I mean, I don't know that I need to, you know, reach this point of a glass skin look, but I don't mind this like glass sheen that's appearing on my skin. It is, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it's subtle. It's very, very subtle. Now, I was looking for the ingredients, and where are they? Oh, here they are. Okay. Water, denatured alcohol, PVP, and then another word I don't know, and then glycerin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are, so glycerin's in the top 5 ingredients. And then there's like aloe extract, cucumber fruit extract, another type of flower extract. Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. I have to admit, I don't hate it. Again, I have dry skin, so I don't ever really mind when I look a little bit shiny, but I would imagine if you have oily skin and you've been trying to get away from this look your entire life, this is probably your worst nightmare. But yeah, I don't mind this, especially that it's a setting spray. It's not like I have like oil all over my face. Like this finish is actually setting stuff down. It's weird. It's very interesting. Okay, well, Pat McGrath, I appreciate this. I appreciate this. Okay, well guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Do not forget to check out my short where I will be testing out all of the Charlotte Tilbury colors. I have all 6 again. And if you want like closer up swatches or whatever, I'll link to the short down below in my description box. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I had a lot of fun trying out today's makeup. I don't see any oxidization with the Skin Glow foundation, which is really, really great. And I really like that Cle de Peau loose powder. Of course, I'll continue using it and all the other goodies that I purchased. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.